All right. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jane Stevens, and we're going to be talking about lead gen today. So mostly free lead gen ideas. So I hope you guys are coming with your ideas too, because I'd love to hear from you. What is working? What has worked for you in the past? What's working for you now? So let's get started here. I'm just admitting people into the room. And yes, this is our topic today. So mostly free lead gen ideas. If you guys have listened to me before, you know that I like to recommend things that are free. So that was my focus for today. So hopefully there's some good takeaways here and you implement a few ideas. Don't feel like you have to implement all of these, just the ones that you kind of like that speak to you. Those are the ones hopefully you can implement into your business to, of course, generate more leads in addition to the leads that you get from Zolo, because of course we do want to be generating personal leads as well. So definitely, increasing our business through personal leads. All right. Good to see you too. Hello, everybody. Oh, I love that the chat is on fire today. So that's great. Everybody's saying hello to each other. I love that. So I'm still admitting people into the room here. Good stuff. Before we get started, I do just want to let you guys know that there are some emails out there that you can reach out to for additional support. So if you have just joined Zolo, welcome. You will probably need to reach out to onboarding@zolo.ca if you are still in the training stage with us. But once your leads are on, then if you have any issues with your CRM, any questions about that, reach out to realtor_support@zolo.ca. And then just a reminder that yes, if you are dealing with anything deal related, speak to your growth manager, speak to your team leader. Hello, everybody. Love the chat. And yeah, I mean, even if you have some of these ideas that you want to implement or other ones that you want to implement, reach out to your team leader. They are experienced realtors who are there to help you. So not just with deals necessarily, but also maybe some lead gen ideas, right? If you are looking to supplement your business, and grow it beyond just the leads that you are receiving from Zolo. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I would love to hear from you guys, just in the chat if you want, but also I'm going to launch a poll. So just let me know how long you've been licensed, how many transactions you've done. It just, introduces me to the audience, gets me knowing who I'm talking to here today. I recognize, of course, a lot of names. So hello, it's nice to see everybody. So while you're answering that, I'm just going to make sure that everybody is admitted to the room. This is looking like a popular topic, so that's great. I love doing these. So we've got people still joining. So just bear with me as I admit everybody while you guys are answering that poll. Make sure that that is everybody's in.
Nothing?
All right, and I'm just going to mute everybody as well, but do feel free to raise your hand if you want to chat with me, and I can turn on your mic, and yes, we can definitely have this be interactive. So just a quick reminder that if you are wondering what else we have coming up in terms of training, just take a look at the calendar in the workplace group, and you'll see what we have coming up. All right, I still have answers coming in on the poll. I've still got people coming into the room. All right, let's admit everybody. And I'm getting a comment in the chat. So if you're trying to get your lead started after a long pause, what do you have to do? Just reach out to realtor_support@zolo.ca and they can restart your leads for you. And yeah, let's talk about what else you can do to generate leads outside of the Zolo system. So let me end the poll there. And let's take a look. Let's share these results and let's take a look. All right, so it looks like I have some of you who have been licensed for less than a year. So that's awesome because yeah, definitely you want to implement some of these systems, some of these ideas into your business so that yes, you are generating leads outside of what Zolo is providing to you. So yeah, that's great. So less than 1 year. And then the next group of you, less than 3 years. So I have some people who are experienced as well. It looks like many of you have done leases. And then I have, a small number of you who have done, or a large number of you who have done a small number of buyer transactions. That's what I meant to say. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for answering that. So yeah, the intention here today is to get you more deals, right? And how do you do that? You need to be talking to as many people as possible. So yes, the Zolo system is there to assist you in expanding your network, talking to as many people as possible. But yeah, let's talk about some lead gen ideas outside of that. So again, We're talking about mostly free lead gen ideas. My name is Jane Stevens. For those of you who have just joined and don't know me, I'm the training manager here at Zolo. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. And again, please don't be shy. Definitely chat with me in the chat box. Feel free to raise your hand. I can unmute you. So if you have any ideas that you'd like to contribute to this, that's something that has worked for you in generating maybe buyer leads, seller leads, even lease leads, because those count too. Definitely share them with me and share them with the group. So we're going to talk about, first of all, the Zolo CRM, because of course that's where most of our leads are coming from. So really make sure that you are, of course, responding to leads as quickly as possible. You want to have as many conversations every day with as many people as possible. Set some goals for yourself. Hopefully you are speaking to at least 10 people. But my recommendation, of course, isn't just to respond to the new leads that come in, but to really schedule follow-ups for each and every lead that you speak to, each and every person that you speak to. Schedule follow-ups at the very least within the Zolo CRM. This is probably going to be your main source of business starting off in real estate. Here at Zolo, we provide you with leads. You want to be having as many conversations as possible and really converting them to showings. If you are talking to buyers, it is a very different conversation than if you are talking to lease leads because you don't want to pre-qualify them heavily on the phone. If they're not pre-approved, still go out and meet them, do a showing, talk to them about the buying process so they start to get to know you, like you, trust you. And, if they're not ready right away, hopefully they know somebody who is, they can refer you. So we're going to talk about referrals at the end, but definitely you want to make sure that you are being responsive with all of your Zolo leads, because that's really where everything is going to start, especially here at Zolo. So let me see. How can we understand that the leads documents are not fake for lease? Yeah, so if you have questions about the CRM and things like that, definitely reach out to Realtor_support. Fake documents, yeah, they're actually, sometimes they're pretty good, right? And it's hard to tell. If you have any questions about whether or not a leads documents are fake, go ahead and call the reference, right? And maybe don't just call the number that is being provided to you by that lead, but maybe, if they say that they're working at, XYZ General Contracting, make sure that you look them up, you call the actual legitimate business, and you're speaking to people there to verify documents. But yeah, thanks for the question. But today we're talking about lead gen. So let's definitely keep going here. And as I said, the Zolo CRM is going to be where it all starts for you. So definitely reach out to your leads there. And then I'm going to make a suggestion that if you do like this part of the business, right? Not everybody likes making phone calls. There is a call lab, so I'll plug that here right now. There is a call lab on Friday starting tomorrow, actually. So if you haven't signed up for that yet, it's a 4-week progressive session that you can take, and it will make you more comfortable on the phone, what to say. You can role play, you can kind of listen to yourself, have these conversations. So that's going to get you better, right, on the phone. So you'll be more comfortable, hopefully, having those conversations with Zolo leads. And if it is something that you like, maybe it's a strength of yours, then I would recommend purchasing something like this. So this is something that is not free, sorry, but you can purchase telelisting, which is, I think, about $300 a year. You do have to pay it upfront, unfortunately, but this will give you a list of people to call. Now, how can you use this in addition to the Zolo system? Well, you might, live in a particular area where properties are selling around you all the time, and you can simply search in telelisting for homeowners, for people in your postal code area, and then you can call them directly. This is going to be much cheaper and much more effective than direct mail, which is actually not something I've included in the presentation here today, because direct mail is really a long, expensive game. You have to be sending out postcards every single month to your farm area, to your target area. But with something like telelisting, yes, this one does cost money. It's about $300 a year, as I said, but you can search by postal code, and then you can call people on this list and let them know what a particular property sold for. And hopefully you're doing that as soon as the property sells. So as soon as a property sells, we have that information on MLS, but it takes sometimes a day for it to be posted on Zolo, or, for the property to be removed from realtor.ca. So, if you can kind of find that sweet spot where you've got a notification in your MLS system letting you know about a property that has just sold, then you can go ahead, search for that postal code, have a list of people there that you can reach out to, and just provide them with information, right? I'm a realtor in the area. 123 Main Street just sold. Just wanted to call and let you know what it sold for. Are you interested in that kind of information? Do you have a realtor that you're working with, in the future if you ever think of selling? And if they say no, great. Can I reach out to you periodically with my email newsletter, right? And then the whole goal of doing these types of cold calls, and I know it is a cold call, sorry, is to capture their email address, because you want to be able to communicate with them on a regular basis. So we will be talking about newsletters shortly here. But before we do, let's just admit more people. As I said, this is a popular topic today. Let me see what I've got in the chat here. Yes, so if you are wondering about lease leads and buyer leads on at the same time, yes, absolutely, you can have those both on at the same time. So again, speaking about generating leads, if you have a boost available to you, which maybe not everybody is familiar with, but so the Zolo CRM, when you do a deal, you are entitled to a boost. So we can boost your leads for you. So if you've just done a deal, reach out to your growth manager or to your team leader and ask for a boost. So that is available only once every 6 weeks. So if you do a deal and you request a boost, the boost lasts for 5 days and it will generate more leads. So my recommendation would be that you turn off your lease leads during that boost period and you just keep your buyer leads on. So that's definitely something that can increase your lead flow. Once those 5 days have passed, then you can go ahead and ask that your lease leads be turned back on so that you do get a good mix of leads coming into your Zolo CRM. So that's definitely a good way to generate leads. So thank you, Trudy Ann, for asking that question. It wasn't something that I was planning on bringing up. So yeah, definitely know about the boost and request it after you've done a deal. Again, it's only available to you every 6 weeks. So if you do a deal and a boost, you can't do another boost until 6 weeks have gone by. So just so you know that. You can turn off lease leads. This is news to me. Yes, you can. Yes, absolutely. So once you've done the first 5 lease leads, you can absolutely turn off your lease leads and just have buyer leads coming in. You don't have to have both. Of course, lease leads are great to have on because they do generate income. They're supposed to be, quick deals. And if you have buyers who are kind of sitting on the fence and, they're not really in any rush to buy anything, then you might want to turn on your lease leads for some cash flow, but you can absolutely turn them off once you've done those 5 leases and just focus primarily on buyer leads. And of course, buyer leads you can convert to seller leads as well, right? So in the course of that initial conversation, you can find out if they have a property that they need to sell or they want to sell in order to, move up and buy something else. So how do you get your buyer leads turned on? So yes, we will turn on your buyer leads for you once you've done your 5 leases. And then you have the option, as I said, to keep both on or just the buyer leads. Awesome. All right. And Vishnu, you've got your hand up.
Hi, Jane. Good afternoon to you.
How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm very fine. Thank you. And thanks for today's session as well. Thank you.
Of course.
Jane, just wondering a few questions about the telemarketing directory. The details which we are going to get, these are not going to be the filter details, right? These are going to be the generic telephone numbers of the entire population of an area?
Yes. Yes, as far as I know, it's the general information. It does take into account the do not call list. So the do not call list, I think, would still be listed, but in red, so you know not to call them. But yes, it would provide you with general information.
All right. So we have to call them individually just to figure out whether they are interested in buying, selling, or leasing for that matter. And accordingly, we will prospect them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is just an idea to generate leads outside of what you're already getting from the Zolo CRM. So this is an idea. If you do like making phone calls, if you do like connecting with people that way, then this is a great tool. And my recommendation in how to use it is to find a property that has just sold so that you're calling them with that information and then asking them if they have a realtor that they plan on working with in the future, right? So real estate is a long game. You don't want to be calling them and asking them, hey, are you thinking of buying and selling today? Provide a little bit of value. These are just my suggestions. I mean, you can do something entirely different, but my suggestion is to call, provide value, let them know what a property in the area just sold for. And, that might motivate them to sell something, right? So, or not, it's good information, and maybe they want to know this kind of information on an ongoing basis. So you capture their email address and then you target them through your email newsletter.
All right. And in this directory, there won't be any sign, kind of segregation where we can know that this house has been just purchased 1 year ago, or this house has just been sold 1 year ago, so that we can actually bifurcate which ones to target first, which ones to target later. No.
You know what? That's a great suggestion. It wouldn't be in the telelisting platform itself, but if you wanted to reach out to somebody, you could search for them in GeoWarehouse and find out when that was purchased, when their property was purchased.
That's a good idea. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
That's a great idea. Yeah, because they say that people move every 6 to 7 years. So if you see that somebody just bought their home a year ago, they're probably not thinking of selling, but still somebody to talk to, right? It's all about conversations in real estate. So converting them, capturing their email address anyway, because you're not just going to talk to the people who are thinking about buying or selling now. You're also going to be talking to people who are thinking about it for the future. So don't dismiss those guys if they've just purchased, but it is a good idea to look it up. And that's how I would do it, GeoWarehouse.
Fantastic. So future prospecting is going to be on for sure.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thanks, Vishnu. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. I will unmute you. We can chat. But then also in the chat box, so I have a question coming up. How often should we be sending sold listings to clients who are looking to sell and requested the listings for a certain area? Good question. So if you have Treb, you do have the client portal that you can be sending, unless if you're still on Stratus, then it's the just a prospect search. So I believe those expire in 3 months or so. So just make sure that you're keeping in touch. Don't just put people into a prospect search and then forget about them, right? You want to have a system in place where you're reaching out to them systematically, right? If you're sending out listings that match their search criteria directly from your MLS listing or from your MLS system, do reach out to them and find out, what do you think about these properties? Are you still interested? Should I tweak your search criteria? So you want to be in touch with them, right? And then yes, it will expire. So they'll stop receiving those listings at some point. But again, hopefully you have that email address in your email newsletter, right? So you can still stay in touch with them. So of course, I'm going to talk about this email newsletter in a moment here. But this is my first suggestion. Telelisting, if you like getting on the phone, this is a good option for you. Always keep track of everything. So I've already started talking about this email newsletter, which I highly recommend. If you do nothing else, if you don't take anything else away from this webinar, hopefully it is to implement an email newsletter. And how can you do that? You need to have some sort of a database, right? You need to be talking to the people that you're receiving from Zolo, or if you do implement telelisting, you want to be talking to these people and you want to be capturing their email address and you want to be inputting them into some sort of system, right? In addition to keeping track of all of your emails, who these people are, it does keep track of what they're looking for, what their budget is, so that if you do see a listing, for example, on our workplace group in the listing channel, people often are posting listings that are coming soon. So they're not available yet on MLS. So this is another great way to reach out to people and sort of keep them top of mind, right? So if you see a listing on the workplace group and it's 800,000 in Milton, how are you going to remember who it was that you were talking to about a property in Milton for around that price point, right? It's going to be impossible if you're just relying on the Zolo CRM. The engaged folder is just an alphabetical list. So I highly recommend at least having an Excel spreadsheet. Again, this is free. So you can keep track of who you're talking to, their phone number, their email address, their area and their budget. And then instead of putting in notes, I would put in the link to the client's profile in the Zolo CRM and then update all of your notes in there. So have something like this that you can keep track of, especially that email address, so that you can target them later. All right. This was recommended to me by an agent here as well. If you don't want to, copy and paste all of those contacts into an Excel spreadsheet, there is something called Streak, and you can incorporate that into your Gmail. It's an app that you download, and it will filter all of the leads that you receive from Zolo into this sort of Excel type list. So that's something that you can download and play with. And again, that one is free and available to you in your Gmail, which is obviously where you're going anyway to access your Zolo emails. One that I always recommend though, the CRM that I recommend is Exact Contact. So that's IXACT. And the reason for that is because not only will it keep track of your CRM, but you will be able to send out newsletters systematically from this system. So it's free for 6 months. So if you're brand new to real estate, give them a call, sign up. I like to recommend systems that you're going to grow into. The Excel spreadsheet, as awesome as it is because it's free, it's a system that you're going to grow out of. So implementing something like Exact Contact is something that you're going to grow into, right? You may not think that you need a CRM right now because you've just, started talking to a few people, maybe you have like a couple of deals that, you can keep track of in your head, but you're going to grow out of that system, right? So have a system that you can, grow into. So here you can keep track of, yes, all of your contacts, all of your deals, and you can send out letters, you can send out mass email, which I would recommend doing for your newsletter. So let's talk about that newsletter. Let me just continue admitting people into the room here. So yeah, the newsletter, again, the reason why I recommend Exact Contact is because it is incorporated into that subscription. So yes, it's free for the first 6 months, and then you will have to start paying for it, but it's only like $30 a month. If you don't have that system, if you have a different CRM, fine, but then you might need to also purchase something like MailChimp or iContact so that you can send out a mass email to, a few hundred people, right? Which again is going to be who you're targeting, right? All the conversations, Zolo combined with whatever other, lead gen idea you implement, you are going to have hundreds and hundreds of people, eventually, hopefully thousands of people in your email newsletter. So, instead of having to invest in a platform that allows you to send out those mass emails, Exact Contact does it for you. So you'd be able to, target all of your contacts through there. So yeah, definitely implementing a newsletter. So what might you include in your newsletter? What are you going to say to these people, right? So there's lots of things that you can put in. This is just a quick list that I put together. You could include your just listed and your just sold properties. But of course, for those of you guys who are newer and you don't have those under your belt yet, think about instead educating them on the process, right? So instead of telling them, this is all my experience, which you don't have yet, talk to them about this is the process. So maybe you include a buyer's guide, maybe you include a seller's guide, right? And it can be a link to things that you have online. I do recommend having a PDF for a buyer's guide, a seller's guide. You can create these in PowerPoint, whatever it is that you like to use. I always recommend Breakthrough Broker, which I haven't included in my slides here today, but I'll put it in the chat. Breakthrough Broker is free. There's a whole bunch of materials that you can download from there and customize with your photo, your contact information. So you can very easily create a buyer's guide or a seller's guide using their templates. And then again, just customize it to yourself. What I also like to recommend is something called FlipSnack. So FlipSnack just converts your PDFs. So it kind of looks like an online magazine that you can flip through. That's why it's called FlipSnack. So let me just put this in here for now. So first of all, Exact Contact is the CRM. And then Breakthrough Broker. You can go there and download some examples or some templates of buyers and sellers guides. So Breakthrough Broker. And then if you did want to, kind of be a little bit fancier, like how are you going to include a buyer's and seller's guide to a newsletter? Typically newsletters don't come with attachments, right? So you might want to have a link to that. So you can upload your PDF. So you'd have to create that buyer and seller's guide as a PowerPoint, save it as a PDF, and then upload it to FlipSnack. So FlipSnack is just my recommendation because it does convert your PDFs to a magazine type brochure. Without the cost of printing, which is great. And FlipSnack allows you to upload 2 PDFs, which is perfect, buyer's guide, seller's guide, for free. So there's another free recommendation. So Breakthrough Broker and FlipSnack to upload your PDF. So that's something you might include in your newsletter. You definitely might want to include market news, mortgage news, especially right now, June 1st just came and went. And there were some new mortgage rules implemented. So that might be something that you discuss. Maybe you do an interview with a mortgage broker if you're not, a mortgage agent, and, just get their input on, the changes, right? And a summary of the changes. And maybe that's something you include in your newsletter. You might want to be community focused. You might want to feature a business, in the area. If you like to cook, I know that there's some agents that put in recipes, recipe of the week, if you're sending out weekly newsletters, or recipe of the month. But if you don't cook, then you might want to feature maybe a restaurant, right? I mean, the restaurant business has struggled with COVID. So, that might be something that you want to put into your newsletter if you want it to be community focused. But back to listings, you can do definitely something, a link again, maybe if you have a website, a link to new properties that have just been listed this week, sold properties that have been listed this week. So that would be, a link to everything that's sold in a particular area during that past week or month if you're doing a monthly newsletter. But back to community-based things, you could definitely, have a list of events, right? What's coming up this weekend? What is there to do, right? Right now, you could definitely include information about what's opening and when. So there's so many things that you can include. Honestly, it just takes time the first time, right? Just like when you're preparing your first offer to lease or your first, set of paperwork, it takes the longest the first time. But then you have a template, that you can use over and over again with newsletters at least, right? You can just kind of copy it. You have a format that you follow, and every week it's the same with new information, right? Obviously, new properties listed this week and sold this week, that will be what changes, but the content is still there. All right, let me see what I have got in the chat. Yeah, absolutely. If you need to reach out to me later, offline, absolutely do so. I'm always here to answer questions. All right. So something you might want to incorporate in this newsletter, just to increase the engagement, is to include a video. So again, real estate is about relationships. So the more they get to know you, or the more they feel that they know you, the better. So video is, the next best thing, of course, to in-person meetings. So we've been doing a lot of virtual everything this past year. So including something like a bomb video might be really powerful in your newsletter. It's actually a really great way to reach out to clients who maybe have not been very responsive. You can send them a video, and you can actually even send this by email and by text. So unfortunately, this is not a free recommendation. BombBomb does cost, I think, about $60. So I think this one's probably the priciest recommendation that I have. But the power of video is, well talked about. So, people implement that and they see a much higher conversion rate. You could even implement this with your initial email, right? If you're getting leads from Zolo and they're requesting information about a property, you can send them a quick video in reply. So very personal. And, it definitely sets you apart from what other agents are doing, right? Just replying by email or by text, send a video. And again, that's, them getting to know you, like you, trust you. So I would highly recommend implementing video in all the things that you do, email or a newsletter, definitely. All right, I did talk about having a website. It's good to have an online presence because, of course, when leads contact us through the Zolo system, they have seen our face over and over again. When they are assigned to you, you are assigned to them, and every single property that they inquire about, they're going to see your photo, right? So hopefully you have a photo uploaded. And if not, I highly recommend that you do that because that is going to start building that relationship. So yes, the lead is seeing you every single time that they request information about a property. But if they want to Google you, right, to find out who you truly are off the Zolo website, you might want to have an online presence. So a website, unfortunately, does cost money. But we'll talk about social media as well. Facebook, Instagram, those things don't cost money. And they also give you that credibility, right? You want to have a real estate page out there somewhere so that if a Zolo lead does want to look you up, they're going to find you. And hopefully they'll see some reviews on there as well, right? That's definitely going to generate leads, people looking at your reviews. So definitely implementing a website when you're ready for it. It doesn't have to be costly. Photos. Yes, sorry, going back to the CRM photo. Unfortunately, you're right, you cannot upload it yourself through the CRM. So do send it to, actually, you could send it to me or realtor_support@zolo.ca. They'll be able to upload it for you in the back end. So yes, please attach a photo to your CRM. It is super powerful for people to be looking at you every time they inquire about a property, every time they look at a property. By the time they take you take them out on showings, not only will they feel like they know you, but they'll probably feel like they're meeting, somebody super popular. All right. So yeah, definitely send the photo either to me or to realtor_support@zolo.ca. So I know I keep plugging Exact Contact. I swear I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but Exact Contact also does offer websites. So again, it's a no-brainer, honestly. They kind of cover it all. So again, I don't know if that actually comes at a little bit of an extra cost or if it's included with your monthly subscription, but it's very plain and simple, but it does the trick, right? So, you can have a website really easily through Exact Contact. And then I'm just going to share with you, of course, some websites, which I'm sure you guys have all seen, different realtors online. Take a look at their websites, take a look at what they're offering. You can see here investments, free home evaluation, early bird listing alerts. So, this particular agent is offering a few different things on his website. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of examples that you can look up. These are not done through Exact Contact. I can't remember now. I pulled it from somewhere for something else. But yeah, you can make it really personable, really fun. So you can have a personal website that talks about you, who you are. But what I'm going to recommend, just to take this to the next level, because we're talking about lead gen today, and honestly, a website doesn't really generate leads unless, of course, maybe you're paying for some Facebook ads in the back end, or you're paying for Google ads or whatnot. But generally speaking, a website isn't going to generate a ton of leads for you. But what might do the trick is a community website. So this is a really cool thing to implement. I love this idea. I've been in my head, I've been wanting to implement this for myself for a long time, but haven't yet. So I challenge you all to do a community website. So what does that mean? A community website can be something like this. So this is Walkable Edmonton, I believe is what WE stands for. So this is actually, it's a realtor, right? So what has she done? She is talking about lifestyle in Edmonton. She's got a blog. She talks about the different neighborhoods. She's featuring restaurants. She's talking about the different parks in the area. She's got shops that she talks about. So people are coming to this website because they want to see what's going on. They want to know where to go. She might have a blog in there about, what's good, what's not. But of course, what she's implemented into this website is properties for sale, right? So it's a great way to generate leads because you're providing information about the area, so about a particular area, but also sneaking in there your some listings for sale. So in that particular area. You can also see that she has there a subscribe button so that you can sign up for a newsletter. So again, really honestly, hopefully the takeaway for you guys today is to implement a newsletter because that's going to be how you reach out to people and how you stay top of mind. So this is one example. Another example is this one here, real estate in schools in Oakville. So I'm sure some of you, if you've been in real estate for a little while, maybe you're out in your community and you hear about a particular agent from your clients quite a bit because maybe they're providing information on their website that is useful to them. So this is a website that I was hearing about a lot from clients saying that, they were interested in a particular pocket based on a particular school, and they had looked it up and read about it on Susie Homes. They still went to Zolo, and that's how I was put in front of them. But I'd come across this conversation quite a bit that they had found information, useful information, on a realtor's community website. And so all this agent has done really is incorporate all of the school information onto her website, listing the best schools in the area. So using that Fraser Institute report to let people know what's good in the area, what those super school neighborhoods are in Oakville in this case. So this is a great idea. If you're thinking about, okay, how can I have a community website, you might want to do something like this, right? Because oftentimes people move because of the school district, right? They want to move into a school district that is well known, or it's really good. So if you're providing that information on your website, you're going to be a resource, right? People are going to come to your website looking for that information, and then hopefully reach out to you, right? That is the end goal, generating leads. And yes, I know I'm talking about generating leads for free, but of course, a website does cost a little bit of money. So this one is mostly free. All right, let me see the chat here. Do you recommend any affordable builders? So I haven't implemented that, but that's another idea, right? There is a website called Buzz Homes, and that has all of the pre-construction. But again, if you wanted to be hyper-focused on your area and you wanted to specialize in new builds, you could definitely have a website about that, right? Making it really easy for people to Google, new builds in Oakville or whatever area you're in, and hopefully that means your website will pop up. So yeah, definitely you can implement that as well. Oh, sorry, website builder. Okay. Yeah, website builder. I do know about them. I think it's $99 for the year. And so that's super affordable. And that's great if you are okay with building it yourself. Wix is a great site, definitely, to go and design your own website, and they have some templates there as well. So yeah, website builder, $99 a year, that's affordable, but you are doing it yourself. Wix, you're doing it yourself as well. But yeah, there are some templates on there, and that one's definitely free. So, sometimes when it's free, you get what you pay for, right? You have to do it yourself a little bit. But yeah, definitely try Wix. Website builder, I did actually try it, and I found it not as user-friendly as Wix. I've used Wix, I've used website builder. So out of those two, I would probably say Wix. The one that I have right now is Web for Realty. Again, it's not free, but I'll put it in here because it's Web and then for Realty, and it's the number 4. Web for Realty is what I used. And I think they had a COVID special where it was half of the amount per month. So, and it wasn't very expensive. Like I think it's $30 per month anyway, and then it was half off for COVID. So it was like $15 a month, but there is a setup fee. So I believe the setup fee was $2.99. So, that one's a little bit pricey maybe, but check them out. Check out Wix. If you're comfortable doing it yourself, definitely check out Wix. But if you want somebody else to just do it for you, then yeah, just be prepared for that setup fee and try Web for Realty. I think they were probably the most affordable ones. Yeah, so let me know if you guys have any other websites that you use that you recommend, what they cost, you like them, where are they? Just let us know. All right. So yeah, I did talk about video already, having that implemented hopefully into your emails and into your email newsletter, but let's talk about YouTube. Let's talk about having a channel for yourself. This is a super powerful lead gen source. So let's get into it a little bit. And what I did was I searched on YouTube, why move to Toronto? And lo and behold, there's a realtor talking about the top 10 reasons to move to Toronto. Now, 622 views. It looks like it's been up for less than a year. But then, of course, on the side, it also comes up with all of her other videos, right? And she's talking about particular neighborhoods in Toronto. So this is super powerful. If somebody is looking to move to Toronto and they're looking at particular pockets, YouTube is, a great place for people to go to learn about a particular area, to actually see it. And then if you're hosting that kind of video, then of course they're starting to get to know, like, and trust you, right? And why wouldn't they reach out to you if they were interested in buying a property in that particular area? It seems like you're the expert. So this takes time. So it's a free recommendation. But it does take time. So don't be afraid to put yourself, in front of the camera and talk about the areas that you know and love, right? And you want to specialize in, because that will definitely give you credibility and leads, which is what we're talking about here today. So lots of different things that you can implement, not just why move to a particular area, but you can also host seminars. So you could do, a first-time homebuyer seminar on your YouTube channel. So you could be providing resources like that online. So information online. I did mention at the beginning, I would touch on social media. How are we doing for time here? So social media, super powerful. So if you're not ready to take the plunge into having your own website, social media at the very least, hopefully you have in place a Facebook business page and an Instagram page at the very least, LinkedIn, whatever works for you, and have fun with this. This is actually something that I really enjoy. I like posting on my on my social media page. And then yes, when you eventually have properties that you have sold or you have leased, you can post those there as well. And again, you can get really creative with the types of posts. You can get really creative with maybe giveaways that you're doing in your community. So it's all about putting yourself out there, but trying to get to that in-person anything, in-person meeting, in-person conversation. Web for Realty. Is that a code for something? No, so Web for Realty is the website provider that I used, and at the time I had researched who was the most affordable one. So Web for Realty does have a setup fee, but I think they're $30 or $40 a month. So yeah, TikToks. Talking about social media, there are some great agents doing some really fun stuff. I mean, do it, right? Like if you have that kind of personality, if you're funny, I know there's a realtor who's really popular in Toronto, and he does his video marketing. It's kind of like a commercial where he's speaking directly to Drake because he wants to be his agent. Anyway, have fun with it, right? There's another agent who did one on a day in the life of a realtor, and it was really funny, people's perception versus reality. So there's a ton of stuff that you can do on social media that is fun and is engaging. So let's talk about it a little bit here. So social media, at the very least, have a business page. So again, even if you don't have properties that you have sold yet or that you have listed yet, create a Facebook page. You can ask people to review your services there, which again gives you credibility. So even if you don't have a website yet, implement the social media Facebook page and people can review you. Other people can take a look at that, and maybe that seals their decision that they are going to work with you. So you can have fun with the types of things that you're posting on your page. And on your real estate page. Now, there's a ton of ideas online. There are a couple of, I don't even know if you would call them websites. I'll call them a website, where they suggest posts. So, they have, fun things like this, fun fact. And, you have a schedule maybe during the week where on Mondays, you're going to talk about mortgages. On Tuesday, you're going to have a tip. On Wednesday, you're going to talk about something else. Like, have kind of a schedule for yourself so that instead of having to reinvent the wheel every day about, oh gosh, what am I going to talk about today on social media? You kind of know what you're going to say, right? So Fridays could be a fun fact, right? And then you can kind of create things that, like I said, are fun, are lighthearted, right? They're real estate related. So in between these sorts of posts, you can, of course, start implementing the properties that you have sold. Again, you don't need that to start. You can have a personality in real estate and post these sorts of things on your social media pages. So the websites that do provide some ideas, there's one called Agent Crate, and there's another one, but I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to put that in the chat. Again, unfortunately, this one isn't free, but it's not very expensive. It is, I think, $25 a month. It's something I subscribe to because they're fun, and I enjoy doing this. If you don't enjoy it, you can outsource this. I believe Agent Crate does offer social media packages that they can just automatically post for you. But again, it just depends how involved you want to be in your content, right? So Agent Crate is something that you can look up. And I think they also offer websites as well. So something to consider. All right, let's get to the next slide here. So this is an example of a contest you might want to do, right? So during, times of COVID, it was really difficult to do anything. So, you can, this is something I did. I reached out to a local mom who did arts and crafts. I'm not artsy. That doesn't mean you have I have to do all these things. So partner up with somebody in your neighborhood, somebody in your community that does the thing you want to do. It's also a great way to cross promote. So this was an example where I reached out to a local mom. She does pillows and actually, lots of different closing gift ideas as well. So I asked her to make this pillow. I posted it on my Facebook page. I asked people to like the post, to share it with their friends, to tag thetheir friends, and whoever had tagged the most amount of people would win the pillow. So I was able to drop it off. Obviously it was a porch drop off, contactless delivery. And then she sent me photos after with the pillow in her hallway, which she posted to my page. So that's free. You just have to be a little bit creative, think outside the box a little bit and do stuff that is, speaks to you, that's fun for you, right? It could be anything, pillows. It could be, I did one where, it was free cleaning, right? Lots of people commented on that. So find something that you that speaks to you, that you want to share it with people. So I've seen other realtors do, a bunch of different ideas. So if you've done anything, I'd love to hear from you. Share that with me in the chat. We can share that as well. All right, so I did just want to mention this as well, because I do get questions about it. So this is borrowed listings. Hopefully you guys know about this. And if not, let's talk about this, because this is a great way to generate leads, which is what we're talking about today. So borrowed listings, you can go into your search criteria in Tread, so whether you're in Stratus or Matrix, it doesn't matter. You can add a field to your search criteria, and the field is called permission to contact listing agent to advertise. So if you add that field to your search criteria, select yes, so that you find all of the properties in a particular area that the listing agent is allowing other agents to advertise. You do still need to reach out to that listing agent and ask if you can post that listing on Facebook, on Facebook Marketplace, on Kijiji, because now you're posting that with your contact information, and hopefully people who are interested will contact you to see the property. So again, find some nice properties. If you're struggling with those 5 leases even, right, at Zolo, go in and look at some borrowed listings, post that on Kijiji, on Facebook Marketplace. Lease leads are, they come in fast and furious. They're easier to capture. So you can post a property for lease with the intention, with the hope, of course, that, you can talk to them about buying, right? There's so many lease leads that, you can easily convert to a buyer lead, because maybe they're willing to provide a deposit of a whole year up front. And if that's the case, definitely ask them about buying. Have you thought about buying? Have you spoken to a mortgage broker? Let me put you in touch with Zolo Mortgages, right? You can have that conversation. And it all starts with a borrowed listing for lease, right? So it's a great way to generate leads. And this one is free. So add that to your search criteria, permission to contact listing brokerage to advertise, select yes. That will pull up all of those properties in that area, whatever you've selected. And here's an example of an email that you might want to send out to that listing agent, because you do have to reach out for permission. So you can just simply say, congratulations on your listing at 123 Main Street. I'd love to help you sell your listing, and I'd like to ask for your permission to post it on classified websites such as Craigslist, Kijiji, social media, etc. Please note that I will not make any misrepresentations. I will only copy and paste data directly from the client version of the MLS listing. I promise I will do my best to find you a buyer. If you're okay with me advertising your listing as described above, please reply to this email and type the word yes, right? And, just to ensure that you don't get, an angry message back, you might want to put in here, P.S. I'm contacting you because you selected yes for agents to contact you for permission to advertise your listing. If you do not wish to receive this email from me, just reply with unsubscribe and I will respect your wishes. Thank you. Done. So you do send, a request to post somebody else's listing, and you go ahead, you post that on Facebook Marketplace, on Kijiji, and you start replying to personal leads. So now when you wake up in the morning, you'll have leads coming in from Zolo and leads coming in from your borrowed listings. So super, super powerful. Free lead gen. Is this feature available with Matrix? Yes, it is. So you can add that field in Matrix as well. Yes, I can definitely post this email in the workplace group under training, and you guys can just copy and paste it for sure. And then this is what it looks like. You borrowed somebody's listing. In this case, it was a townhouse in Oakville for $699. You want to find, my recommendation would be to find a property that's in kind of that not low end price point, like not $300-400, if you can even find those, and not like multi-million. I mean, I would love to post multi-millions, or, try it and let me know how it goes. But my assumption is that they probably already have a realtor. So I'm kind of thinking of a first-time home buyer more when I'm picking listings, because they probably don't have a realtor, and, it may be easier to find leads if the price point is kind of in that first-time home buyer range. So just my suggestion. All right. For Zolo listings, do we still have to ask the listing agent? I don't believe so. I still would if you're going to be posting it on Facebook. So yeah, just reach out to them with an email. Good. I'm glad you like this idea. Perfect. Yeah, it's free, right? So these are all different ways that we can generate leads. I did already talk about the virtual seminar. Sorry, I should have had this slide earlier. so that you can talk on your YouTube channel about first-time homebuyer incentives. Maybe you can have guest speakers on to join you. You know, if you're not super familiar with the rule changes, you know, to the stress test that just happened, bring on a mortgage broker, interview them, you know, interview other agents. There's a whole bunch of ideas that you can do here. So yeah, this is one that I Googled, first-time home buyer. So this is, of course, a realtor with a panel of people, and they're going to talk about first-time home buyers, tips and trends for 2021 in Canada. So there you go. Perfect. So many people are going to be Googling that, right? A lot of first-time home buyers are going to be wanting information. So oftentimes people just want to watch a video, right? So you might want to do some research on the length of the video, how to kind of keep people engaged, but definitely an idea that you can implement. All right, so here's a suggestion, and hear me out. Closing gifts aren't generally lead gen ideas, but I love this idea and I wanted to share it with you because it's simple. Having something like a charcuterie board. So maybe this is your closing gift, right? You send a big basket with like non-perishable items, a bottle of wine and a charcuterie board that just happens to have your logo stamped on it. So that when you, so when your clients are hosting, hopefully, you know, they've got a few people coming over now that restrictions are being lifted a bit, they can have people over, they can serve a platter, you know, that has your logo, it's, you know, brand recognition, that has your name, and they're serving, you know, a charcuterie board to their friends that just so happens to have a logo right in the middle of that dining table, right? So anything, anywhere there that you can kind of implement or insert your brand, or, you know, the fact that you're, you know, the fact you're there without being there is essentially what I'm saying. So, you know, that's kind of a cool idea, you know, instead of just giving flowers, have something that you, that you can kind of put in front of people. All right. Yes. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys like that idea. All right, because yes, at the end of the day, it is all about referrals. When we start out, you know, some of us have a large network of friends and family. That's great. You know, but for those of us who don't, you know, you usually start with online leads. That's probably what brought most of you to Zolo. But then from there, you want to be asking for referrals. So that charcuterie board, you know what? Friends and family will see it and go, oh, was this from your realtor, right? And then it just starts a conversation about you without you having to be there. Because yes, the end goal is to have a referral-based business, hopefully, ideally. So again, going back to the very beginning of this webinar, we talked about having a CRM, having a follow-up system, and yes, ask for referrals. Have that as part of your business, because that is going to be a really great source of leads. All right, let me see your comments, guys. Chat with me. Where can we rewatch this webinar? So it has been recorded. I will post it on the YouTube channel. And once it gets uploaded there, you will be able to take a look at it on the training channel as well. So it kind of gets posted automatically, by the way. So just it happens within the hour after the session ends, and then you can watch it on the YouTube channel. And there will be a link in the workplace training channel to the video. Awesome. How are we doing for time? Ooh, 4 minutes left. Let me know. You know what? I'm going to stop sharing this, and I am just going to let you guys chat with me. Let me know if there was anything that you found interesting that you might want to implement. Is there something I missed that you guys want to recommend? I'd love to hear from you guys. We had a good group here today, so let me know. Can a lease agent ask for a boost? Yes, so I was talking about boosts at the beginning. Yeah, absolutely. You can ask for a boost for lease leads. So just reach out to realtor_support@zolo.ca. If you don't know who your team manager is, yes, you can, you know what, just call me after the session and I can let you know. I'll look it up in the system for you. But again, Realtor support, they can help you. For Instagram, do you think we should have a personal or business, or would it be fine to post your personal life with your business life? Yeah, so I think for Instagram, it's good to have a real estate page and then, you know, insert a little bit of your personal stuff in there, because of course, real estate is about relationships. I have heard actually, you know, lots of realtors who just keep it personal and implement their real estate into their business or into their personal page. But I would suggest doing a business channel, just because, you know, maybe not all your friends and family want to see real estate information, but if they do, they can join that channel and you can kind of like pull a little bit of personal into that, and then yeah, a little bit of business into your personal profile. So I would have two. That would be my recommendation. Do look up on our YouTube channel. We had part 1 and part 2 on social media. So I'm not sure if you discussed that, but it's a good session to watch. So 2 videos that you can watch all about social media and how to implement ads and all that fun stuff. So it's Alex with Sidekicks Media, who basically gives all of his knowledge and expertise as a social media manager, and he just basically provides the do-it-yourself tools. So check that out if you're thinking about implementing social media. All right. Love the borrowed listings, especially for newer agents who don't have their own listings. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that. I love that. I try to register a client as a personal lead. They said they already exist. So if they already look on Zolo, they are automatically Zolo, not ours. Reach out to your, again, Realtor_support. Sorry, I don't mean to keep sending you to the same thing, but they're taking care of all of that, all of those CRM related questions. And if you have a personal lead, just as long as you can verify that, yes, if they're a friend, family member, if you've done business with them in the past, just let them know how you know that personal lead, and hopefully they will accept that and it will be a personal lead for you, and they can transfer it into your CRM if it's somewhere else. Because yes, people are using the Zolo website, right? It's popular. That's why we get leads. But yeah, if you do have a personal lead, just reach out to Realtor support and they can classify it as such. Awesome. What's the personal lead split for sales? So if you have a personal lead, then it's 80-20, unless you have a Zolo deal in the same month, in which case it's 100%. How do you switch on buying leads? So yeah, you need to complete your 5 leases and then just reach out to either your team leader or me if you need to, and I can take a look. If you've done your 5 leases, we'll turn on your buyer leads for you. Awesome. Excellent. Well, I think I've got everybody's question. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys got to be informative. It was fun for me. If you're not able to find permission from listing agent, yeah, reach out to me, Kushi. I can help you with that. It's just a field that you add to your search criteria. Yeah, awesome. Okay, great. Have a great day, everybody. I will see you on the next webinar. Thanks so much.